Okay, so if we know anything about Germany, we know that the Nazis have targeted the Jewish people and they've kicked out a lot of Jewish people who were lucky enough to leave Germany before they could be murdered. And hindsight for Germany is that maybe they should not have kicked out all of their best scientists just because they were Jewish. But they did. And so some of the world's top scientists, like Albert Einstein, have left Germany because they're Jewish and they're probably going to be murdered if they stay in Germany. And Hitler also does not pay much attention to the scientists who have managed to split the atom in Germany because he doesn't know enough to realize that that is going to be useful to him. But the US does know that the atom has been split. And so the US government decides that they are going to collect these top scientists and they are going to work on a top secret project here to learn how to harness the energy of the split atom to create a chain reaction that will create a weapon of mass destruction. But this is a super secret project because we don't want Germany to know. Germany gave up that right when they started expelling the Jewish people. And most of the people who worked on these projects had ties to the Jewish community. We also don't want Stalin to know. But turns out Stalin has spies on the inside. So he does know. But we don't know that he knows. So it's a really good trick on his end because we don't know. Franklin Roosevelt creates the project called the Manhattan Project. It starts under Franklin. He assigns U.S. General Leslie Groves to head the project, and he assigns Oppenheimer to be the head scientist working on this project. And those are the only two people who have full official knowledge of what the project is and what they are working on. Every other scientist who is working on the project is separated and sent to a specific area and to a specific job site because the different job sites have different pieces they need to do. In Oak Ridge, Tennessee, you are there to mine the uranium. The University of Chicago, if you're working there, you are working on the mathematical and scientific properties of splitting the atom. If you are working in Los Alamos, New Mexico, you are there to build and test the actual bomb. You may also be working out in Oregon. I don't remember, I think the University of Portland. I don't remember what they were doing, similar to the University of Chicago. But these people are kept away from each other. They're not allowed to talk to each other. They're not allowed to discuss what they're doing for work, not only with each other, but within their communities. They can't even talk to their husbands and wives about it. It's very, very secretive. Yet somehow scientists still manage to figure out what's going on here, and they start to connect the dots, and they realize that we are working on something that could be the worst new invention of our time. And so some of the scientists, like Leo Szilard, I think I said that right, they start to petition the government not to use this weapon if it is able to be created. They do point out that it is going to really destroy things. And we don't know what the effects of it would be long term. So even if we can harness and create this chain reaction, we should not be using this on people. But again, Japan is not surrendering. And now Harry Truman is president. And by July of 1945, Harry Truman has to meet with Stalin again. And he has to kind of give an update to the Soviets and to the British about what's going on in the Pacific Theater. And he does not want to go back and say that he's losing, or not so much losing, but that the war is still going on and that there's potential for the war to continue for another 6 months. So Harry Truman really wants this project to be finished and successfully tested before he goes to this conference in Potsdam called the Potsdam Conference, because we like to name conferences after where they're held. Fun fact, my grandfather was on one of these ships that escorted Harry Truman to the Potsdam Conference. I actually have a pair of wooden shoes that he picked up in Antwerp when he was on his way back, which I did not take out of the closet, and I'm not going to get now, but I'll show them to you at a different time. Harry Truman goes to the Potsdam Conference without the successful test of the bomb, but while he is there, the bomb is built and tested in the New Mexico desert while Harry Truman is meeting during the Potsdam Conference. And so he gets knowledge before the conference ends that there has been a successful detonation of this new weapon. And so Truman goes back to the last day or two of the conference, very full of himself. He's really lording it over Stalin that, you better watch out. We are so powerful. You don't even know how powerful we are. And Stalin does not really seem to care, which kind of bothers Truman. But again, Stalin knows what we don't know, is that he knows what we're working on, and he's already started his own top secret atomic project in the Soviet Union. So he's not concerned for us. And he probably has a good laugh thinking, like, you guys think you're so smart, but, like, you don't even know that I am also working and I'm getting there myself. So Harry Truman goes back to the United States, and he has decided that he has two options for what to do about this war in the Pacific. He could continue the war in Japan, or he can use the atomic bomb to end the war. Now, as a regular person, this would not be an easy choice. As the President of the United States, this probably was not an easy choice. But we do have some intel that Harry Truman had or should have had. And I believe he does have it. We know that the Japanese military is not going to be able to hold out much longer. They just don't have the ability to keep reinforcing themselves. And really the biggest threat for Japan is not that the Japanese will keep holding up, it's that maybe Stalin will start to fund them. So we're not really, I would say Harry Truman and the choice he makes is not so much about the concern for the Japanese, but he's concerned about the Soviet Union. The U.S. is moving closer and closer to mainland Japan. We've already taken back our Pacific islands. We did that whole strategy of island hopping where we went island to island in the Pacific and we took back each island. That's really it. We had developed a stronghold in Okinawa. We've already firebombed Tokyo. We've wiped out thousands of civilians, and we've already destroyed at least 67 cities across Japan. So the war is going to end no matter what, probably in the next 6 months. And Truman does ask Stalin to help fighting the Japanese, but Stalin says nah. So Truman decides that the best way to do this, the best way to end the war, is to take this new atomic weapon and use it against the Japanese. He does it against the request of the scientists who work on the bomb. We talked about this. And it is important to note, because this is such a topic of debate even today, was it necessary to drop the bomb? And there can be arguments for a lot of these things, but I think when it starts to get murky is like, you might be able to argue that it was necessary to drop one, but two? And consider, when you're taking into consideration necessary, the first bomb that is dropped on August 6, 1945, the U.S. drops a uranium buoy called Little Boy over the city of Hiroshima at 8:15 in the morning. It's not Tokyo, it's not Kyoto, it's not a military base. It is a city. This bomb kills about 70,000 civilians instantly. Not to mention the thousands more in the following days and later years. Japan does not surrender after this first bomb drop. Maybe it was shock, maybe they were just being stubborn, but they don't surrender. So on August 9th, we drop a second plutonium bomb named Fat Man over Nagasaki. Again, civilian city. Once again, over 70,000 people are killed instantly, and countless more people are killed for years to come. Not only do we just kill civilians, but there's fallout, radiation poisoning, radiation burns, all sorts of things that we did not prepare for, that are going to continue to kill Japanese people and people in the Pacific for years and years. And not only does it poison people around the world, but it also leads us to a brand new era, the era of nuclear war. And the scientists were right. There's no coming back from this, which is where we end our Unit 7. We did it.